Welcome to Paperback Junkie, and I'm doing a book haul. When I'm gonna do my book hauls, I'm gonna do it based on bookstores that I like, or just bookstores that I go to. So, first, I went a couple weeks ago. April was a big actually April and March was a really big book buying month for me. I went a little crazy. What I want to do is kind of break these up. So one of my favorite bookstores ever is a place in North Hollywood called the Iliad. Now, I used to live right by it, but now I live about 2 hours from it. So when I go down there, I'm bringing stuff home, if you know what I mean. I want to go through the books that I got, and that is not all of them. That is just the one hand. I'm going to break this up because there were a lot of books in it. So, let's get cracking. So, Dashiell Hammett, The Continental Op. Now, this book is a bunch of the short stories that he wrote for the different pulps and stuff back in the day that are about the Continental Op. Now, for those of you who don't know Dashiell Hammett, you should. It's good stuff. But I prefer his first-person stuff compared to his third-person stuff, if that makes any sense. So I'm really excited to dig into this. I'll read a little bit from the back here. The Continental Op was Hammett's first private eye, the model for Sam Spade and all detective heroes that followed. A fat, cold-eye operative for the Continental Detective Agency whose only interest is to do his job. He is an isolated hero in a world where violence and treachery are the norm. Dang it. And then speaking of classics, then I got another copy of Along Goodbye by Raymond Chandler. Now this edition is a Penguin edition. I don't know when, let me check this. I don't really know how to say it to you or not. But in the 70s, they did this covers from the films and stuff like that. So this one is pretty cool. There are other ones that I want to get that are a little bit older that have cooler covers, but then I don't know if you've seen them, but not too long ago, Penguin, like the UK version of the books, came out with these awesome, really minimalistic covers for all the Raymond Chandler books, and I am going to get the crap out of those. So if you don't know anything about The Long Goodbye, it's not my favorite, but it's a lot of people's favorites of the Philip Marlowe books. So, Philip Marlowe draws trouble, but trouble is his freaking business. Into his arms, a young drunk slides from under the driving wheel of a silver wraith. His hair's white, his face scarred, and he's called Terry Lennox. His wife's a plush tramp. The next thing, Marlowe's thigh high in a murder case, cooling his heels in the felony tank. Oh my gosh. The Long Goodbye is Chandler in his creepiest, coolest mood. So there's that. Then I got some Mickey Spillane books. And this one, One Lonely Night, it's again not my favorite Mike Hammer book. I think it's the fourth or fifth Mike Hammer book. And when I get paperbacks, especially like this, I am trying to get like the first printing. And this one is the 18th printing from May 1953. So that's actually pretty good for a Mickey Spillane book from that era. I think the copy of I, the Jury I have is like the 57th or something ridiculous like that. But this one, oh yeah, no, it's the fourth one. It says it right there on the back. But yeah, so anyway, this one, it doesn't really give you a synopsis or anything of it, but basically he finds this chick on a bridge. This guy comes up and he's gonna kill her or whatever. He kills the guy, and then the girl like jumps off the bridge and he tries to catch her or something, and she falls and dies or whatever. He ends up kind of uncovering this whole like communist plot. I mean, again, Red Scare, we're in the 50s, that's just that. But then this one I got, Killer Mine, Mickey Spillane. This one is in freaking amazing shape. Like, the cover looks really, really good. The spine looks barely red or anything. This is the first time published in the US, so don't really... But yeah, this is the first printing, 1968. So that's cool. Now, this book here has two of the two Killer Mine stories, Killer Mine and Man Alone. Now, I think you could get this book even older with just Killer Mine in it and not Man Alone, but I'm not 100% on that. So the guns, the punks, the whores were dying too fast. Holy crap. A wise guy was speeding up the underworld's death rate with a 38 special. Killer Mine. Lieutenant Joe Scallion manhunts the thwarty dives and deadly alleys of this slum jungle. His cover. A gorgeous lady cop who plays sex bait. His target. A one-shot assassin who's killing off the killers. A double threat for Mickey Spillane, Killer Mine and Man Alone. Two new thrillers, blood splatter, bullet paste, all the way Spillane at his savage best. Whew. And then on the front it says, she was a big, beautiful redhead from a high-class bordello, and when he found her, she was dead as doornails. Oh my gosh. I have not read that one yet, and then I haven't read this one either. First time in paperback, Mickey Spillane's The Bypass Control. That is not a sticker. That's just part of the cover, that red dot right there. Now, Tiger Man, like, Mickey Spillane's known for Mike Hammer. That's just what he's known for. But he had like a kind of, I don't know if you guys know about Nick Carter, but Nick Carter used to be like an old, like in the 30s, like a private detective. They did like radio shows with him. And then in the 60s, after the James Bond books by Ian Fleming came out and were really, really popular, they turned Nick Carter into the Kill Master. So he was like an American espionage agent. And around this time, Mickey Spillane started writing the Tiger Man books. And I think this is the last one. This one looks pretty good. It's a little beat here, and then back here, this little bit is, yeah, that's not great. But I think this is the last Tiger Man book. I think there's only 3. I could be completely wrong about that. Button, who's got the button? One day a scientist decided to play God. He made a small improvisation in the U.S. intercontinental ballistics missile system. A slight change that made it possible to push a button and wipe America off the map. Then he disappeared. Tiger Man's got the toughest job of his career. He's got to find the scientist before the Russians do. And it says a bunch of other stuff. This is, I've never read any of the Tiger Man books. I have them all now. So they are on my TBR. But yeah, so there's that. Now, the Iliad, if you haven't been there, it is the most amazing store ever. And they get so much new stuff in. You could go pretty much every week and find new stuff. And one of the things that I found, and they only had one by this author, boop, The Wanton by Carter Brown. Now, Carter Brown is possibly my favorite author, at least right now, or for the last couple years. I have a ton of Carter Brown books. Al Wheeler is my favorite. And the chances of me going into an old bookstore and finding a Carter Brown book, or a Carter Brown Al Wheeler book, are freaking slim to none, especially ones that I don't have. So coming across this was amazing. Now, a lot of the Carter Brown covers are done by Roger McGinnis, which are just amazing. And this is the third printing of this, so that kind of sucks. But other than that, yeah, when it says the Carter Brown Mystery Series, usually those aren't the first editions. And then if you see one that has, I'll try to find it for the next video, but one that has like a bar right here with this guy in a face and a gun and the gun shooting for the Al Wheeler mysteries, those are shit. I really want to get new ones of those. But anyway, here's what this one is about. The heiress was beautiful and undressed to perfection. She was definitely Al Wheeler's type, and it was just his luck. She had passed him up for a date with death. In this ingenious mystery, hard drinking, quick thinking, Al Wheeler goes gunning for a maniacal killer with a penchant for blondes and a passion for watching them dance in midair. At the end of a rope, what's up now, huh? Boom. Mic and dropping. Then I got some Ed McBain books. Now, these books, these size, the pocket books, I absolutely love these. Like, they're so tiny and little and just amazing. And I have not read any of the 87th Precinct books because, this is the second printing from March 62. The first one was in April 57. But anyway, I haven't read any of the 87th Precinct books. Now, for those of you who don't know, the 87th Precinct, Ed McBain, who is also Evan Hunter, who wrote like Blackboard Jungle and stuff, he basically created the police procedural genre with the 87th Precinct books. And like Hill Street Blues was basically taken from this, even though this was supposedly taken from Dragnet. And in every, where is it? Yeah, in every 87th Precinct book it says, the city in these pages is imaginary, the people and places are all fictitious, only the police routine is based on established investigatory technique. So it's like that whole like intro to Dragnet. So all the 87th Precinct books have that. So, but, oh yeah, the reason why I haven't read any of the 87th Precinct books yet is because I don't have Cop Hater, and that's the first one. And I know that these ones you could read out of order for the most part, because some books will deal with these two detectives, some will deal with this one over here, and blah, 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 blah. But I have my eye on this first edition Cop Hater, and I want to get it. I could get it online, but I kind of like to find books. Like when you go in and you just like find them, and it's like you just found some treasure or something like that. Another Ed McBain book I got that is not an 87th Precinct book is Death of a Nurse. This is from a company called Cornet in the 70s. I think this is 70s. Let me check. Yeah, the Cornet. Originally, this book is from 55 from Faucet, which probably means it's a gold medal book. And this one is 1972. But I have another one of these, and all of the books from this series, from this company, have these weird, like, weirdly lit, like, murder scenes taking place. It's really weird. I don't know. Like, you can't even really tell what's going on. Like, this looks like another person's head, but I think that's just her hair right here. Wait, no, here. There it is. And it looks like she's being choked. So moving in. Now we're starting to get into some other good stuff here. Now, for those of you who don't know me, which you probably don't because this is my first book haul video, I am like a huge fan of Faucet Gold Medal. I'll probably actually do a video on Faucet Gold Medal and how Faucet Gold Medal changed the landscape of publishing, kind of like how ebooks have changed the landscape of publishing, or did like back in 09 or something like that, okay? But I'm trying to collect all of the gold medal books. I usually just stick in like the mystery and thriller area, but I'm like, you know what, let me go into the westerns and see if they have any gold medals there. And boom, we got a few. And just to let you know how ridiculous me trying to collect all of the gold medal books that have the gold medal seal on it. This is number 722, this is 778, and this is 816. I have a lot of gold medal books, but not nearly as much as I would like. A Town to Tame by Joseph Chadwick. This is from, and just so you know about gold medal, the gold medal seal on this book means it has never been published as a book before. To select an original book that you have not already read, look for the gold medal seal. I just noticed that this one has pages coming out, so that sucks. These books were never meant to, like, keep. Like, these were supposed to be books you read a couple times and left it at the laundromat or, like, at McDonald's or wherever you are at. This is 1958. So, 1958, A Town to Tame. He was broad of shoulder, narrow of hip, lean in the rangy way of prairie mustang. His eyes were the dark gray of cartridge lead. He was a tough-looking man with a law badge pinned to his shirt and gun holstered to his thigh. He was also a frightened man because the magic was gone from his gun hand, because his draw was not fast enough anymore, and it was up to him to bring law to a lawless frickin' town. So, that sounds pretty rad. There's a little guy dying on the ground right there. Okay, next, 778. His name... Oh, wait, no. Home is the Outlaw. I am just making book titles up right now. This is by Lewis B. Patton. And this is also 1958, first printing. Look, I could just take this page out if I wanted to. It was the oldest law of the West. A man who lived by the gun must also die by it. He was a gunfighter whose name was Legend, whose speed with the gun was the talk of 1,000 frontier saloons. You could see it in the watchfulness that never disappeared from his bony face. You could see it in the way his worn and weathered gun hung holstered at his side. You could feel it, too, just as you feel the feral wildness of a caged and pacing lion. And now he was coming home at last, weary of killing and sick of his life. He had sold his gun, but would they let him stay? The people of Aforo Wales and the people he'd grown up with? That was an odd sentence there. But yeah, so that's that. And finally, there were only a few rounds of ammunition left, and the last bullets must be saved for the woman. For Desperation. Gold medal book number 816 from October 1958. So all these books are from 58. And the funny thing is that guy who bought these books, it was probably one guy who bought them all together in 1958 and had them the whole time. And then something happened to him, like he's dead. And then maybe his kids took the books to Iliad to try to get some money. That's what I like to think. Anyway, so for Desperation. He was a marked man. Oh, I gotta do my Western voice. He was a marked man in his God-forsaken territory. He had killed the son of a dreaded Apache chief, and now the chief himself had sworn to kill him, had declared a personal blood feud. Robert Wilden was not welcome at the fort either. He brought with him the threat of hundreds of screaming Apaches attacking the isolated post. He brought with him the smell of death to the men and dishonor to the women. By Frank Castle, The Punisher. No, just kidding. But yeah, Frank Castle. So those are pretty cool. I'm kind of excited to read those. I haven't really read a lot of Westerns. Next, now get ready to unsubscribe, okay? The Yellow Claw by Sax Rohmer. Now, if you don't know, Sax Rohmer is the person who created Fu Manchu, and he wrote all of the like Insidious Fu Manchu books and all that. And I collect those just so I could have them all. Because it was kind of like it's a piece of our history where, like, the whole idea, it's bonkers, but the whole idea of people just going, oh my gosh, they are Oriental. They must be magic and evil and da 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 da. It's ridiculous, but it's written for the time it was, you know, and just to think that there was a period of time where, for instance, one of Agatha Christie's rules of writing or whatever is the killer can't be a Chinaman, because that's like too simple, too easy. So just the fact that there was like that whole mindset is just bonkers. But anyway, so The Yellow Claw, a novel of perilous adventure introducing Gaston Max. I've never read this, but a strange and alien evil. What was the strange evil that drew respectable citizens into lives of horror? An evil strangely linked to a sinister Oriental painting. One man knew he had seen it ravage the Orient and suspected that it now threatened the West. He knew the doom that lay in store for those entranced by its spell. I'm still doing Western, I'm sorry. A life in bodies marked with shaded eyes, bloodless lips, and discolored skin. To end this evil, he knew he must first decode the Oriental painting's message. Somewhere in that arrangement of glowing, vibrant colors lay the answer, and the peril of frightful death. Yeah. And to make everything like 100 times worse, or whatever, there's a picture of Sax Rohmer on the back, and he's wearing some like silk kimono top or something while he's smoking a pipe. And this, I don't know if I said that already, but let me tell you when this was from. This edition came out in 1966, and the copyright is 1915. Now, this last thing is the thing I'm so most excited about. And here's the deal. Okay. The author's name is Day Keane. And Day Keane is someone who I've been trying to get stuff of for a long time. And most of the places I go to, they won't have anything from him, you know, whatever. But there is this bookstore in Glendale that I can't remember the name of, and I'll do a book haul from there eventually. But they have some Day Keane books, but they're like first editions, and each book is like $40 or something like that. And I could have got it, but I also could have got like 35 Nick Carter books or something like that. So I went that route instead. But anyway, so I ended up finding a Day Keane book, but not only is it one Day Keane book, it's two Day Keane books. Who Has Wilma Lathrop and Murder on the Side, two suspense mystery novels by Day Keane. And this is from Lancer Books, whom I have never heard of. But it has both books in it. Oh, and I love this too. When you see like bookstore stamps in it, like has a stamp from Book Exchange, new and used books for seller trade, 262 South Pearl Street, Albert Lee, Minnesota 56007. And then right here, there's somebody. And I find this a lot too. People will write inside if they thought what they thought about the book. And right here it says, good, January 1965. And I want to say that says Ruth, but I don't know. And then over here it says Shirley. But anyway, so I love that. Like, that's one of my favorite things about paperbacks, old paperbacks, is when you see, like, you get to know a little bit about the people who might have read it before. So, who was Wilma Lathrop? Was copyright 1955, Faucet, and Murder on the Side was 56, Faucet. So again, those were probably originally printed as gold medal books. But it doesn't say anything about when this was published. So I'm going to assume it was later than that. Lancer Books, New York. Okay, so anyway, let's find out what these two stories are about. Who was Wilma Lathrop? They showed me the bone fragments and the charred diamond and everything else. But I said to hell with their theory. Wilma was alive and I knew it. She had to be. The newspapers were yelling that I murdered her. I love first-person books, by the way. And then for Murder on the Side, she was still warm when her husband found her, wide-eyed and dead in the big house. One of her own nylon stockings tied so tightly around her beautiful neck that her face was already turning strange colors. Somewhere in the city, a killer laughed with pleasure. Just one more death to go, and the state would burn her husband for him. Dun, dun, dun. All right. So that was part one of my trip to Iliad, and I'm still going to. Here's a little preview. Let's see if I can make my finger do it. Nope. This way. Boom. Nope. That's the preview for what else I got at Iliad. So until next time, wubba wubba wubba. Goodbye and God bless. From downtown Julie Brown, if you people know who that is.